Is it a way that we can start learning away from combat situations?
Absolutely, man. And the combat environment in a lot of ways, and I'm certainly biased, is kind of a great reference because it's at the extreme of a lot of aspects of being a human. Actual life and death and actual hysteria and chaos that's going on around you at all times. The highest of emotional spikes, adrenaline, cortisol, just the most extreme. But you can apply all of the exact same methodologies and principles and tools and ways we go about doing that to anything, without question. So how do you do it, man? And that's the never that question doesn't get stale. It's kind and the answer, in my opinion, is um, there is no exact formula. So forget about trying to find the formula. I mean, in today's world, the access to information has never been as readily available ever in history as it is now. And if you go on the internet and start searching how to blank, you'll find 8 billion ways to go about doing it. And it's not to
Yep.
say any of them are wrong. In fact, they all could be very right. But the idea of finding the formula is something I would recommend forget. Let's just focus on finding a formula or a system that works for you now, and then let's iterate and let's build on it slowly. And this has been my point. In the physical fitness world, like most worlds, there are very few ironclad facts because as we learn more, we disprove theories that were considered factual for years and years and years. There is one of several that is considered to be as ironclad of a fact as it gets, and that's the term progressive overload, which is just a fancy way of saying your goal, if you're trying to build strength or build muscle, is to just do a little bit more every time you train, or a little bit more every time you hit that same muscle group, or a little bit more every week. Small incremental increases. And that could be increase in the actual number of the weight on the bar. It could be an increase in the number of reps you do per set. It could be an increase in number of sets you do per exercise. There's a lot of different ways, metrics you can play around with. But the idea is just do a little bit more than you did last time, which again isn't a revolutionary concept. You can apply this to anything. But if we apply progressive overload or just being iterative, that is what I typically recommend people out of the gate. The guy that's working the office cubicle 9 to 5, who's lost, is okay. First off, as we've discussed, what are you trying to do here? Who are you trying to become? Because if you don't know what that is, then there's not much point in getting going at 1,000 miles an hour if you're going in a completely opposite direction of where you actually want to go. So let's identify
Definitely.
that. But once we have that, okay, now we just simply identify just a couple. It doesn't have to be this crazy complex algorithm. What are a couple things that will benefit you to move from where you are now to where you're trying to go? And if in an objective secure, I go through a much more in-depth process with tools and how someone can take it to kind of the higher levels of planning and how you can operationalize your success. But at a very basic, simple level, what are you trying to do? These things are something that you think will help you get there. Okay, start small. Progressive overload. Start small, right?